I heard my uncle's ghost crying for help. His cries sounded so sad and broken, like he was in pain. This story is about my Uncle David, who had passed on when I was 6 years old, going 7 years. This timeline takes place around the early 2000s, as it was very sudden and unexpected. Obviously, I was only just a child and didn't comprehend what death was about clearly. I was very naive and oblivious to what was happening around me. At this time, my uncle had passed on from cancer. Now he had not told anyone in our family that he was sick and was not on any medications or chemo. When his death was sudden and unexpected during this time, everyone was very saddened and heartbroken. Now fast forward about a month later after his death and burial. I was living with my father at his apartment for the summer. Keep in mind, this apartment also used to belong to my uncle and some of his old roommates, but when my uncle had passed on, my father and I plus my siblings moved into the apartment to live in. Mind you, I was very young. I was also born with hearing loss and wore hearing aids 24/7 and didn't understand sudden unexpected death. My child mind had blocked out a lot since his passing until I got older and could understand better about that time frame. What I do remember was around summertime when my dad had just finished renovating one of the bedrooms to my uncle's apartment to be my own bedroom. They had just completely finished it one day and moved all my stuff in there. I was really excited and happy to have my own bedroom since me and my siblings were sleeping in one small cramped space for a while in the apartment. The first night I slept in my room, it was exciting at first until I had this eerie feeling later on that night. I was having trouble falling asleep and waking up to sounds, feeling like I was being watched for some reason. I got up and turned the light on and also turned on the big TV in my room. It was just static when it turned on. I tried to fall asleep, but all I could make out was wailing and crying or yelling noises from a human voice. I got a bit scared, but had some courage and confidence to open the door and peek around. I realized I could only hear the voice, but couldn't make out anything out in the living room. It looked too dark to see anything really. I decided to step out of my room completely and see if maybe it was just my brothers arguing or play fighting. As soon as I stepped my foot out of that door, the crying and yelling got louder. It started to sound like my brother's voice, but not completely. I had asked out loud if it was my brothers and if they were okay, but it wasn't. I soon realized it was the sounds of my uncle's voice. It continued to cry out, "Help me, Louise, help me. I need your help, please." And I knew instantly he was talking about my dad, who has that name. My brother's name is Louise as well, so hence why I thought it was them at first. I panicked because I didn't know what to do or say. I quickly just went back into my room and locked the door. But I could still hear my uncle's voice yelling and crying in pain out to my dad, but muffled. It was very tense and traumatic since I had no clue what to do. But I blocked out the sounds, a pillow, and forced myself to fall asleep. The next morning I had woken up and waited for everyone else to get up. As soon as I heard everyone making breakfast, I started asking everyone and my dad about last night. "Did anyone else hear noise last night?" I asked hesitantly. Everyone said no and asked me why I asked. "I heard someone or possibly Uncle David crying and yelling out to you, Dad. He kept saying your name like he was in pain. At first I thought it was Louis, our brother, but Uncle David was calling out to you, Dad, and I looked down because my dad had a shocked reaction on his face and everyone was a bit confused, silent. My brothers proceeded to say it was just a bad dream or just me making up stuff, but I didn't really care. I just wanted to see how my dad would react, but to be he somewhat reacted the same way as them. It saddened me, but I didn't know what else to say or do, so I just let it be for the next 16 years, and I'm not 23 years old now today. I will say I did have other experiences or encounters with voices whispering in my ear and calling out my name, but if you guys would me to speak about it, I will in another post sometime. The reason why I wanted to share this experience is because I'm still trying to figure out if it was all in my childhood head or if it was real, because if I'm being honest, it felt real and sounded real. His cries and yells sounded so sad and broken, like he was just in pain. I have prayed over my uncle's spirit and hope he has found the light. I just need to know if maybe it was something, then nothing is all.